Verse of the day. Today's verse of the day, I want to talk about complacency versus faith. And when I think of the word complacency, I think of come place a seat. It's a matter of non-movement, and faith equates to movement because faith is actionable. All throughout the New Testament, Christ calls us to move. He calls us to take action. And the reason that faith is actionable is not because we're following some guideline that was preset or command that was given to us. It's because there's been a heart change through knowing Him that produces good works through us. This is a matter of being to do instead of doing to be. And the difference is evidenced in the fruit that we produce. And the best insight we can get on this comes from the word itself. And so, today's verse of the day comes out of James 2:14 through 19. And it says, "What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, 'Go in peace, keep warm and well fed,' but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, 'You have faith, I have deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds.' You believe that there is one God. Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder." That last part, that's an interesting thing to me. Even the demons believe and they shudder. They have been in the presence of God. They know His goodness, they know His mercy, they know His love, and yet still they choose to reject God and all of who He is. They themselves choosing a path that seems right to them outside of time as eternal beings in an eternal state chose eternal separation from all that is good, all that is merciful, all that is true and loving, only to follow their own will. And so, eternally separated is all they will ever be. But we have a choice still. We are offered the opportunity to taste and see, and then choose whether or not to put our faith in Him. Now, we can say that we've done this when we accepted Christ, that we have put our faith in Him, but it does not end there. In fact, this is only the beginning of the journey. And this journey requires daily surrender, daily sacrifice of our will for His, and the daily renewal of our mind with His Word, the inpouring of His Word into our spirit. This is the necessary edification of the Spirit to produce good fruit in our lives, or else the world will find its way to implant its own seeds and produce its own fruit in us. The measure of where we stand and what path we walk is in what we produce. The evidence of our faith is found in the fruit we bear. What seeds we plant through our actions and our words produce a harvest that is the evidence of where our hearts truly lie. Walking, talking, planting, sowing, and taking a first step are all elements that have a commonality in action and in faith. In that, faith not only requires action, but also produces it as a byproduct. Whether it be faith in God or faith in this world, there will be a harvest of evidence of what it is that you have sown, what you've grown and what you've tasted of, and what it is that you are feeding to others. The Word tells us that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, and that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So what you allow to be poured into you is ultimately what will be pouring from you, and has the power to not only change your course, but the course of those around you as well. So then, be intentional and overly careful about what you are allowing into yourself. Whether or not you are a vessel for God or for this world is determined by what you fill your cup with. The Word tells us that if we do not love, then we do not know God, because God is love, which means that I cannot know Him and not be changed by Him. This knowing equates to an actual relationship, and it's through that relationship that we discover who He says that we are. And in knowing who we are, in and through Him, the desires of our heart begin to change in turn, and so does the directionality of our life. Relationship with the Father is experiential knowledge that requires faith, which is actionable. Psalm 34:8 says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who trusts in Him." So the Lord offers us this opportunity to take a step of faith, to come and see and taste that He is good. And this opportunity comes at the cost of the sacrifice and surrender made for us all in and through the life of Jesus Christ, His death and His resurrection. God himself manifesting as a man, limiting his divinity to become flesh, to take upon himself the judgment for all of flesh. And all that is required of us is that we do a portion of the same, that we sacrifice our will, our lives, to accept the life that he gives us, and then to make the choice, to choose to trust in him. So I encourage you, take that step of faith, taste and see that he's good. Put your trust and your faith in him. I hope this has been a blessing, and I hope you guys have a good night.